Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to the Whiskey Cove. And on today's episode, we have quite the store coming your way. Run the video. Alright then folks, thank you for joining us for another new and exciting episode here on the Whiskey Cove, where we will be looking at a lot of the bottles I've been picking up in the last month or two. We got a little bit of a backlog, so it's quite the haul. And you definitely want to stay around till the end, because the last bottle on this list we're going to be giving away for my 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So I'm going to make a bit of a push this year to try to get that over the line. We will be bringing out a few bottles for that, and the last bottle on this list, which is quite a special bottle, we'll be giving away for that. The next video that we put out will contain all the information that you need to know. So definitely get ahead of the game now, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon too, so you know when those videos are being posted, and you will need to be a subscriber to win one of those bottles. With that being said, let's take a little look at the bottles that we were able to kill off here lately. So Don, a friend of the channel, brought over a Limestone Farms, this bottle with the white label there. This is the straight bourbon whiskey, and this is the collection series. 56.4% ABV, 112.8 proof. We killed it. It was pretty solid. I've also tried some of the other stuff as well, and they're just kind of breaking onto the scene here, but that was definitely a good bottle. That was kind of like a pick that Don was able to get hold of. And then we also managed to kill off our Wild Turkey 101. I don't have a backup for this. I'm not sure that I'll buy a backup just because I have a lot of other different options right now. But again, a very solid whiskey. With that being said, let's talk a little bit about the bottles that we were able to pick up. Let's delve straight into it. This is an interesting bottle. So this is Copper and Cask, and this is the Cigar Blend. It comes in this really nice and fancy box. So this is a limited small batch cigar blend bourbon whiskey, finished in cognac, sherry, port, and Armagnac casks. It is aged 7 years. So normally with cigar whiskeys or cigar blends, you normally see the 3 finishes, but this has an extra one, 4th, which is the port, which is really interesting to see. That's not even the best part. Like I said, it comes in this really cool box. The bottle's there, aged 7 years. The ABV on this guy is 61.1% ABV, so definitely getting up there. How much do you think this bottle was? Just off the top of your head. I didn't know too much about Copper and Kings, but now I know a lot more, I'll tell you that much. This bottle out the door cost me $55, which is insanity for a cigar blended whiskey. That ABV, 4 finishes, at least 7 years of age, and it's really tasty, really complex, and it's opening up a little bit more every time I try it. So I was very happy that I was able to get that. So if you are someone who is local, we got that Copper and Kings from Argonaut in Denver. And then just following up with that, we also picked up another Copper and Kings whilst we were there. That guy. So this is the Toasted Oak Bourbon Whiskey, finished in toasted oak barrels, 59.2% ABV. So again, getting up there in proof and ABV, aged 7 years, and this cost us about $3 less than that. I'm not sure how Copper and Cask are able to bottle this stuff and send it out to us, but in a time when we're trying to find good value for money, I think we were able to find this. So this whiskey, and like the cigar blend, is distilled in Indiana, aged in Kentucky, and then bottled in Rhode Island, which is where this distillery is, which is, again, you know, a lot of whiskeys moving around a lot. So again, a really great price with that cigar blend and a toasted whiskey. Very excited to get into that toasted here. We're also able to get a pretty darn good deal on a couple of the rare breed non-chill filters. So I've been talking a lot about these on my channel. They did recently re-release this bottle of whiskey. It is still the non-chill filtered bottle, but it looks a little different. It doesn't have the silver label like the other one has. It has more of like the traditional red rare beard label. So I got 3 of these for $270 to my house. There was someone who found out someone was selling them. They must have gone on a trip lately, and I bought 3 of them from them, and I got them delivered for $270, which I think is an absolute steal. Yes, it's not $60 for the regular rare breed, but for this price, for non-chill filtered rare breed, and this is an elite whiskey. Very happy with that. Oh, and did I also mention, those guys are 1 litre bottles, so it kind of evens it out a little bit. So you're paying roughly around $80 or so a bottle for that. Maybe with the extra litre, you're actually paying closer to $70, so pretty close to rare breed. Moving on, we picked up a Willet 4-year rye from Costco. I didn't really need this bottle, but this is one of the highest ABV ryes that I've ever seen from Willet. This is 58.2% or 116.4. Normally they're dancing around the 55% ABV or below mark, so I was very happy that I was able to pick that up. I'm a strong believer on that bottle bottle that if you can find them 55% ABV or above, you should pick them up. And I think that was like $57 at Costco. So that was a very, very good price. One of the sayings on this channel, if you see a Buffalo Trace single barrel, you pick it up. This was $29.99, Daveco. This is barrel number 610. They had a bunch of these. Well, they had the whole barrel, right? What a great bottle of whiskey. For 30 bucks, you can't go wrong. I rate that stuff higher than El Matili in my humble opinion. Moving on, we have quite the selection left here. I picked up the 2XO, 2 times by Dixon Deadman Oak Series, the American Oak Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So this is kind of like the 2XO entry-level bourbon. This was on sale for $25. I wasn't really looking at buying it. I know there are a lot of big 2XO fans out there. I have tried the Kiowa blend. Sam, one of our patrons, sent it over to me. But for that price, I could not pick it up. You know, we're talking in the realms of Buffalo Trace or Wild Turkey 101. So we'll finally get an opportunity to try that and see if it can kind of fit in somewhere. For $50, we'll see if it's going to be worth $50, but I'm sure it's going to be worth at least $30. Quickly, and if you'll humor me, we did pick up 2 stouts right at the back end of Christmas. This is the New Year's Goose Island from 2024, the original Bourbon Brand County Stout. We pick one of these up or 2 up every year. Normally I'll drink one on New Year's Eve, and normally then I'll just put one away, and then every 10 years I'll bring it out. So I just drank the 2015 one. And then we also have an Equilibrium Brewery, and this is the Imperial Stout with bananas, peanuts, vanilla, Oreo, and lactose. So that kind of sounds like a meal in the bottle there. Those are both around $15. I do like my bourbon barrel finished stouts as well. Let's do these 2 bottles together here. So a distillery here in Colorado. I've talked a little bit about them on the channel before. Copper Sky, sourced almost primarily from MGP. They just closed their doors, unfortunately, here. So anytime that I'm really seeing this stuff, I'm picking it up. So we picked up 2 bottles. This is the Copper Sky Fallen Heroes whiskey. This is 57.5% or 115 proof. Some of the proceeds, I believe, go back to veterans, which is a great cause and really does help out those folks. And then also over here, we have a Copper Sky, the Copper Accord. This is the 2023 Serrano Estate release. I don't know too much about this bottle. This is 57.5% ABV. I have a bunch of Copper Sky stuff. I've never had a bad bottle. Maybe one bottle that I've tried has been pretty bad. That's the Avalanche bottle. But because this bottles are not going to be around anymore, anytime I see them, I'll probably pick them up. I'm not going to really be drinking them anytime soon, but it's just really nice to have because there was one of my favorite local distilleries. Yes, they didn't really distill mostly of their own stuff. It was more blending and finishing, but they did a pretty good job at that. Moving on, and we have a bottle that I bought here local in Colorado, and usually when I go to stores and go to liquor stores in general and someone comes over, a member of staff, someone who I don't know, and it's like, you need to try that bottle of whiskey, that's really good, or tries to sell me on something, I almost never ever repeat that same mistake. I used to do a little bit when I was first getting into whiskey many years ago, and sometimes in the past as well, especially when you're at a store maybe in a different state and you don't quite know the kind of local selection, you maybe want to take on a little bit of advice. So there's been many times I've been burned to that, so I've absolutely stopped doing that now. However, recently I was at a liquor store and someone talked to me a little bit about this bottle. So this is a Kentucky distillate that has then come over to Colorado and then aged here in the city that I live in. So that is the only reason that I bought this bottle, really. This kind of aged and owned by someone in the same city that I live in here. It's around $50 or so. It is this bottle. It's the Batch House Distillery Single Barrel Bourbon Whiskey, 92 proof or 46% ABV, aged at least 4 years. So I bought this bottle of whiskey, we brought it home, we tasted it a little bit on the live stream and just before, and I'm severely disappointed, burnt once again. It's really funky, really off, has a lot of craft, kind of reminds me of like Hidden Barn's newer stuff. Heck, maybe it is that stuff and just rebranded because Hidden Barn have a lot of ties here to Colorado. So yep, super disappointed that this whiskey is just not very good at all, and kind of every single one of those $50 that I spent on it is me burnt just a little bit. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but you want a bottle of whiskey when you pay $50 for it to be at least a little bit good. That, on the other case, not. From one bad whiskey to a good one, or 2, I should say. That is because we finally found Penelope Rio. The only problem with me finding Penelope Rio is that, yeah, it's half gone already. And as I kind of anticipated, absolutely love this bottle of whiskey. I don't know what it is with Amburana finishes, the cinnamon, toast crunch kind of vibe, the sweetness. I really like those in whiskey. And this one is no different. Coming in at 49% ABV or 98 proof. Absolutely beautiful. That honey note definitely does come through, but it really kind of helps that spicier note from the Amburana a little bit. I traded for these local, and the person also had one of these, so I was willing to throw that in as well. So we managed to get the two. So really happy that I was able to get these. I managed to trade them for some Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye, and then a small Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. So pretty decent deal for everybody involved. If you can't find the Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye, excellent whiskey in its own right. We don't see it as much here in Colorado as other states, but very happy that we're able to get this. Now I guess I'm on the lookout for another bottle, and probably the Havana, the new Penelope that has just been released. 3 bottles left, and we have a bottle that I said last year in a video that I wasn't going to pick up. Bon Burgess 2024. However, this was a Christmas present from my sister and brother-in-law, so I could not refuse an excellent bottle of whiskey. Normally, I say normally, every year, but this year of recent times, this is like an $80, $90 bottle of whiskey, but now it's gone up to $140. So just out of principle, I didn't want to buy something that had increased such kind of like up by 40%. It didn't really make much sense to me. However, the 2023 release was fantastic. I have nothing against the whiskey that is in the bottle, but I found it a little bit hard to be paying 140s every year now. Heck, who even knows what it'll go up to next year. This is 58% or 54% ABV or 108 proof. I didn't get the Shanks. I'm definitely not going to get the Shanks this year. I've actually started seeing the Shanks on shelves here in Colorado for $140, which is pretty wild. Very happy that I was able to get that Bon Burgess as a gift. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. We'll have to try to pump out a review for you folks at home. Next up, and this is a bottle I managed to pick up today, Stag Junior. Not just any old Stag Junior. It is a Stag Junior single barrel store pick. The weather outside is not very fun indeed today. Very snowy, hard to get around. And Dave Co. In Thornton, Colorado posted that they're dropping one of these. Got in my 4x4, drove on up there, and they had a bunch of these in boxes right there. ABV on this is going to be 64.2% ABV or 128.4 proof. It's funny actually that in Colorado, we don't see many just regular Stag Juniors, you know, like the 24C and the 24D or whatever. We mainly just see the picks. We have a lot of big liquor stores here in Colorado, and I feel like at least every one of them will get a Stag Junior pick. So if you're lucky enough, you should be able to pick up one. If you're kind of in tune with the market, you're talking to stores, you're a part of Facebook groups, you should be able to see this. I posted a picture of this as soon as I got to the store to Rocky Mountain Whiskey Society, which is my local group here in Colorado. So hopefully some of you folks at home were equally able to get one of these bottles. This is about $80 out to the door, so that includes tax. So very happy that I was able to get it. Very happy that I was able to get it for that price. So this is the last bottle on this list, and this is the last bottle that we're talking about. Is going to be part of my 10,000 subscriber giveaway. There will be more information coming up on Friday. That will be the next video announcement. But what you can do right now is that you can subscribe to this video. You can subscribe to this channel, I should say, like the video, and get ahead of people a little bit here. And you hit the bell icon so then you do not miss a thing. With that being said, we got a phone call from Argonaut Wine and Liquor that there was a lottery bottle for me that I had won. Very happy with that. I wasn't able to answer the phone. It was a voicemail that was left. So I don't know, they don't really do like a pick. You can't like pick what they have. They just kind of assign you a bottle. So this is a bottle that they assigned to me. It's a bottle that I've had before. It's a bottle that I've drank before and I've enjoyed before. I maybe was looking to try to get maybe something from the BTAC lineup this year or something else. So I don't want to sound kind of ungrateful, but I've had this before. I've enjoyed this before, and I want to be able to give back to the wonderful subscribers of this channel. So when we hit 10,000 subscribers, we will do a big old live stream and someone will get this bottle for absolutely nothing. And that is an Old Rip 10-year. So Old Rip 10-year by the Pappy Van Winkle Distillery is 10 years old. It is 107 proof or 53.5% ABV. It is a wheated bourbon, Buffalo Trace's wheated mash bill. A very excellent bottle. Probably better than the Van Winkle 12 in my humble opinion. I feel like the extra proof and ABV kind of helps kick it on a little bit. I think this was in Fred Mimick's like top 5 or 10 bourbons of 2024. So it's a very good release and it can be yours. You have to be a subscriber and just watch the next couple of videos. Watch the video on Friday where we will tell you how to put your ticket in to be able to win this. Also as well, we will be releasing like another 4 excellent bottles. If you're someone who owns a liquor store or a business and you want to maybe sponsor a bottle, let me know, because then every time we start talking about the whiskey raffle or when it gets posted online, you can have your emblem and that'll be like a nice little sponsorship for you. We've done that in the past with the St. Jude raffle and the 5K Bonanza giveaway, and we've had really great results for those people who would like to sponsor a bottle. With that being said, as we drink through the world's whiskeys one glass at a time, this is going to be in someone's hands here soon for absolutely nothing. Cheers.